Yo, what is going on, Draft League fans? My name is IronBoffin, coach of your Rochester Rhydons, and we are back in the Pokemon Premier League for Season 5. Now, if you guys didn't know, last season, we actually won this league. Shout out to the Rochester Rhydons. Look at that, man. Shout out to Timmy for the design. If you guys want to pick up this championship merch, it's down in the description below. But yes, we are here for another season, and I am super excited. Now, this season of PPL is a little different than last season. I believe there were 12 teams total last season. Could be wrong. But anyway, this season, there are 28 coaches in the PPL, and it's been split into two divisions, each of 4 teams, the Scarlet and the Violet division, and we are in the Violet conference or division. I forget which they called it, but we are in the Violet Conference. A lot of big friends. We got Seabad. We got John Helios, who did a lot of help with prep last season for us. A lot of great people in this division, and I'm super excited to play them all. And we have a brand new team with some familiar faces, so get excited for some familiar faces. But, so going into this draft, I am the 9th pick in the draft. And I'm already, like, 9th pick. I've already kind of committed to that I'm not going to get something crazy that I want. Fun fact, they did ban Spectrier this season. No Spectrier, no Dragapult. They were not on the board, not available. And by the 9th pick, there really wasn't a lot of mons I wanted. I think like things like Annihilate and stuff were still on the table. Roaring Moon was there, but I was like, man, I just don't love them. I just don't want that mon. So what I decided to focus on instead, because I felt like in BUBL, I felt like our defensive core was very weak. And I felt like that made it very hard for me to team prep and play in the games. So I decided I was going to focus on my defensive backbone first. So our first pick in PPL Season 5, I went for Pecharunt. We're snagging Pecharunt, the insanely bulky mythical with 88 HP, 160 defense, and 88 spadef, and 88 speed. So the speed stat is very important there, because even though it is a bulky Pokemon, it's still got some speed to it, so it's going to outspeed a lot of other bulky threats. Obviously, you guys know it has the ability Poison Puppeteer, which can be super annoying with its Malignant Chain. I have a 50% chance to poison, and if I do get that poison, I confuse them with Poison Puppeteer. So that's a really cool mon. Another move I'm really excited for on Pecharunt here is Parting Shot. So it's a bulky pivot. We can send it into an offensive, physically offensive threat, and we can Parting Shot out into one of our other mons. So I'm really excited for that. And then this mon can set up too. Like, I played Joey with this in BUBL. Joey had this with Tera. And he set up like Nasty Plot with it. So you could do Nasty Plot Malignant Chain if that looks good. It has Destiny Bond. Lots of really good options for this. And like I said, that 88 speed stat is that's not nothing. 88 speed can outspeed a lot of big threats. So I'm really excited for Pecharunt. I did originally, I'm going to tell you, originally this was one of my Tera captains. It was like, this mon cost 14 points, and with the Tera, it cost 15 points total. But then I was like, as the draft kind of went on, I decided that this was going to be more important to keep the ghost typing. And if I did Tera, I would probably want to keep ghost typing most times to be a spin blocker. So I ended up taking the Tera off that, so it's just a regular Pecharunt, normal poison ghost. Then next up, this was a stretch. This is what we would call a bad pick. But honestly, I had to bring Nero back. I loved Corviknight so much last season. It made team prep. Team prep always felt pretty good. I felt like I always had a good defensive option in this stuff. Being able to U-turn out, a good defogger, Brave Birder. We know what this thing does. It's got the Roost recovery. The Roost being bulky with recovery and U-turn is so important. We saw how much I struggled in BUBL to break big defense Pokemon that had recovery, like Hydrapple or Porygon 2. We really struggled versus those mons, and Pokemon like Corviknight are similar to that, where I can pivot and I have the massive amounts of recovery in Roost. So Corviknight did super well for us last season. Nero, welcome back. Super excited to have Nero. And another almost familiar face. We brought Ogerpon Wellspring for this season. I'm really excited to have I love having an Ogerpon. I think I'll always try to get a Ogerpon. I don't really care which one. This one, I love it because it's the 120 attack, 110 base speed. That's so good. It can't Tera. Excuse me. But obviously, it's got your big moves like Ivy Cudgel, which in this case will be a water type move for us. You got the Horn Leech, the Power Whip. You could do Leech Seed Spikes. You have Knockoff. Spiky Shield if you want to break a sash or just kind of pick something off at low HP. I love having an Ogerpon. The Encore is also super funny. Encore is a super funny move. I love having that available, and it has the U-turn again. So I felt like we're building another kind of U-turn core. But the big thing with this U-turn core that I felt like the last one lacked is some heavy hitters in that core. So Pecharunt can be a big problem if I start getting poisons with the rotating core. Ogerpon's going to swing that Ivy Cudgel and get some big damage off. And then we have Corviknight, who, I mean, a Brave Bird still hurts. A Brave Bird does not feel good. And obviously just being able to take hits and U-turn and get out is super, super important. Next up, oh, this didn't quite go in right. Hold on. Let me fix this. Illegal. Another familiar face. Like I said, I kind of like having Mons that I know what they do and I like what they do. We snagged Alolan Ninetales. Now, why did I snag Alolan Ninetales again? Aurora Veil is a really scary option in team prep for other opponents. They're going to waste move slots on bringing Brick Break and Defog and things like that to try to counteract the Aurora Veil. So even if I don't have to bank on Aurora Veil, it's nice to have that and make opponents waste team slots to deal with. And it's a good ice type. It's a good ice type. It's a good fairy type. Obviously hurts the dragons because I hit them 4 times super effective. They can't hit me. But I like Ninetales. And the big thing I felt like with Ninetales is that Snow Warning does open up the door for some really cheap ice sweepers that we used last season, like Beartic, Alolan Sandslash. There's Satitan. Just in general, some ice, you know, if we want to go something big like Baxcalibur or something, or Iron Bundle. That was kind of actually my goal here, is I was going to draft Snow Warning, Ninetales with Snow Warning, and then pick up a big threat later. So that's kind of going, this is round 4, by the way. So that's kind of what we're thinking about here. We got Veil, we got big ice moves, and I kind of like where the Ninetales is going. Ninetales played well for us last season. You don't bring it every week, but the weeks you do bring it, it can be a real problem. Now this, I'm introducing to you our first Tera Captain. I can't believe they allowed this thing to Tera. I am so excited for this Pokemon. One of my favorite Pokemon of all time, especially to use in Draft League or just in battles in general. We're grabbing Salamence. We have Tera Salamence. We're gonna. I haven't shared any of the nicknames yet. They're not all nicknamed yet. But this one's gonna be a shiny. His name is gonna be Shenron. And I love, love, love this Pokemon, man. You can go Bandit. You can go Scarf. Boots, like the Intimidate Boots defensive. You can do Moxie sweeping with Choice Scarf, like Moxie Dragon Dance, Intimidate Dragon Dance. I am so obsessed with having Salamence here. This thing is going to be such a problem. It's still got Roost. It did lose Defog, which is unfortunate because it can't be like a defensive Corviknight role some weeks, which is fine. But I am so excited to have Salamence here this week, this season. And it is our Tera Captain. So we are allowed to Tera it. So we're going to get out of that 4 times weakness. We'll be able to set up Dragon Dances a lot easier with that. We have the Intimidate and Moxie abilities. So I'm so pumped up to have Salamence here. Then next up, so that was our round 5 pick. Now our round 6 pick is, we're looking for, we need like a fire type. You know, we have the fire, we have the water and the grass type in Ogerpon. We need to kind of figure out, kind of round out the core a little bit. And I also want some speed because we have a lot. We're doing okay for the speed tiers. We have 109 in Ninetales, 100 in Salamence, 110 in Ogerpon. But we still want some speed. I don't want the team to be too slow. So I picked up Infernape next. Now I'm pretty excited for Infernape. It does a lot of things. There's a lot of kind of things it can do. It can be like an anti-lead mon with Taunt Stealth Rocks. It can just be a good Scarfer with like fighting type coverage and fighting and fire type coverage. It's got a lot of coverage in general. It can be physical or special. So it can be hard to prep for that way because it's like, if you prep for a physical version, but I bring a special version, then you're getting hit pretty hard on that end, or vice versa. It's got close combat. It's got freaking Aura Sphere, which is really sick if there's going to be like some evasion shenanigans or whatever. It's got access to knockoff, and it's got access to U-turn. So it's also a good AV user in that regard. It's got priority. So I'm pretty excited for the Infernape. I've never used it in Draft League before, but with that 108 speed stat, I'm a big fan, especially because I'm going 108, 109 in Ninetales, 110 in Ogerpon. Means things are going to be kind of locked into where they have to put their speed, so they can't really put that elsewhere in the bulk or something like that. So I'm pretty excited to have Infernape here. Then I was talking about speed earlier, so let's talk about our next mon. I wanted, so this is where I got sniped. This was my snipe of the draft. I wanted Iron Bundle here because I wanted Iron Bundle because of how fast it is. It's 136 speed. Would have gone well with Ninetales because I could spam Blizzard with it. I was pretty set on Iron Bundle. I think it was like literally like 2 or 3 picks before me, it got picked. So I was like, okay, relax. I still want speed. Speed was really important to me. What did I get? Regieleki. Why did I get Regieleki? Because I felt like our team is really built to punish ground types. So obviously Regieleki struggles because it only has electric moves. It has electric moves and normal moves and like E-Speed Explosion. So any ground type pretty much just walls it. Like if there's a ground type in the game, Regieleki can't do anything to it. But what Regieleki does give me is a base 200 Pokemon, probably a base 200 speed. I'm going to be faster than a lot of Scarf users. And I think this Pokemon's insane. It came down to a pretty crazy roll with Ben and BUBL. That's kind of why I wanted it, because I felt like it was really good. And if your opponent doesn't preserve the ground type correctly, it can run amok, especially with the Transistor ability, which is already basically providing a Life Orb to your electric type attacks. So if you put a Life Orb or a Magnet or a Specs on it, it's going to start doing some damage, even though it's only 100 special attacks. So I'm pretty excited for this. But like I said, it's also a base 200 speed Rapid Spinner. It's got Rapid Spins, it's got screens, and then basically you got Volt Switch and like, you know, other Thunder electric moves or whatever. So that's the big thing with it. It also has E-Speed in priority, so that's kind of cool. But the big thing is it outspeeds a lot of Scarfers. Last I checked, there's like base like 115s that like I can outspeed 115s without a Scarf or anything. I just gotta crank it up in speed. So that's really cool to have a Pokemon that will outspeed a lot of Scarfers. So I'm pretty pumped up for that. Next up, you know I had to grab Rhydon. My go, I did pick him early this season because I did so well with him last season that I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody picked him. So I wanted to pick him early. I wanted to make sure he was on my team. He was honestly such a big part of a lot of team prep because he's so bulky defensively. Even with the Eviolite, his Spadef is pretty good. And then, you know, the Lightning Rod with Tera. Oh yeah, he's a Tera too. Of course he is. Tera Rhydon, literally one of my favorite. Literally my GOAT, got us freaking 10 kills in the playoff games, 6-0 sweep in the finals, 4 kills in the semifinals, and I can't remember if he got any kills in the quarterfinals. But I love this Mon. A very reliable stealth rocker, very great Tera captain. And then you can just click Swords Dance and start earthquaking stuff. When in my last game in the finals there, I was like, even just in prep, I'm like, man, if I get a Swords Dance off, I'm trading with something immediately. Like if there's not a good lead into Rhydon, I just start trading with stuff. And that's really important because this thing hits hard. So I love that we got Rhydon. Now we're getting into, I think that's round 7. We're getting into the late rounds here. Okay, so we don't really, it's not that I don't have a plan. I'm kind of just picking what's on the board. And I still had quite a bit of points left. And I made a little splurge. This is kind of, like I said, I didn't have a plan at this stage. I went for Necrozma. Necrozma was still on the board here in round, let me count what round this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Round 9, Necrozma is still on the board. And I didn't have a Psychic type yet, so that's really cool. Necrozma is sick because it has the Prism Armor. So it kind of, again, in theory, it gives me a setup Mon. It gives me like a dedicated lead. This thing can also set up Stealth Rocks. It has the knockoff. Some things that you like in a lead, so you can kind of knock off some Pokemon to start. Has a big move in Photon Geyser, so that's kind of cool because you can build it physically or specially, and then have Photon Geyser to hit with whatever coverage you go for. Insane coverage, literally the most ridiculous coverage. Like it has Dragon Dance, physical moves, special moves. It has Calm Mind, literally an insane setup sweeper if we want to go that way. But I was just I couldn't believe this was still on the board. It has Recovery and Moonlight. Does it have Morning Sun too? I feel like, yeah, it does. Does it have like Recover? No. Okay. So yeah, we have like weather dependence, so we'll have to be careful of that with Ninetales. But I just thought it was a really sick Pokemon to still be on the board. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? We have a lot of speed. We can take something a little slower here. It's still really bulky, especially with that Prism Armor. That 127 special attack gives me some special offense. I thought this was a steal. For round 9, that's crazy. I do wish I could have put the Tera on it, but it was too expensive. I can't have Tera Necrozma and Tera Mence. Tera Necrozma, or regular Necrozma was 13 points. Tera Necrozma is 17 points. Mence was 15, so you couldn't go over 30. So I couldn't do Tera Necrozma, but I think that's fine because I think regular Necrozma is just fine. Next up, I wanted to lock in a Mon to go with the Snow Sweeping Ninetales. So I wanted to make sure I grabbed the one I wanted, mostly because of like my Teras were getting kind of funky. So I snagged Terra's a Titan. Tera Titan is going to be really sick this week. It doesn't, or this season. It doesn't quite hit as hard as Beartic or Sand Slash, but it is faster. That base 73 speed is really important because now I'm going to outspeed a lot of what I was finding with Beartic is Beartic is base 50 speed. At base 70 or base 50, for example, even in snow, a lot of Scarfers were outspeeding me. Like anything base 101 faster as a Scarf, or I could outspeed 101 in snow, but not if they were Scarfed. After that, I got confused in there. But with 73 base speed, I'm going to outspeed pretty much everything in snow. So that's going to be really sick on the Titan. It's got the Slush Rush, like I said. So like this thing is going to be an insane snow sweeper. 170 HP. So with the 65 defense and the snow boost in snow, 170 HP, I'm a problem. Like even if you get a hit off on me, like you're probably not going to take me out. And I could also run an Assault Vest, like Assault Vest Slush Rush sets, and just start swinging into stuff and be really hard to take out. So I'm really excited we got to Titan. I've kind of wanted to use it for a while. And when I played Lin's in BUBL with it, I was so scared of it in team prep. So I'm actually really excited that we got it. Next up, we're getting into the depths of the end of the draft here. And I had a little bit of points left. I think I had, what, 15 points maybe? I think I had 15 points left over. And I didn't have a dark type yet. So I wanted a dark type that way in case things wanted to get funky with psychic types and stuff like that. I wanted a true dark type. And that was really the big thing. And there weren't a lot of dark types on the board at this stage. But there was a good one. We snagged Zarude, who I've never used before. Zarude's pretty sick because Zarude has a exclusive move called Jungle Healing. So what I'm really excited for with Jungle Healing, if I grab it, where is it? People not use it? Jungle, there we go. Jeez. Jungle Healing is really sick because I heal some HP and I also cure my status. So what this mon can do is it can switch into moves like Will-O-Wisp or Thunder Wave for me. And I can heal that burn off or heal the paralysis off. And then it's also like a bulky setup mon. It's base 105 speed, so it's definitely like it's a faster Pokemon. We can start doing bulk up jungle healing so that way I'm like, I can't take me out. We have access to Power Whip. We have access to some like Drain Punch. Like we have a lot of moves here. And we also have U-turn, so I can use this defensively as like a fast defensive U-turner kind of thing. Because 105 defense, 95 special defense, and 105 HP. This is a bulky Pokemon. He has a really good stat spread because he's not using his special attack stat. So I'm pumped up for Zarude. I've never used Zarude. Seabad's used it in another league he did. So we got to do some prep work with it. And I think it's going to do a pretty good job. So I'm pretty excited to have it. It's not great in that I doubled up my grass typings. But between Ogerpon or Zarude, somebody's going to have a better matchup. And I think I'll be able to bring one of them pretty reliably. And then last but not least, I snagged another Snowmon. I only had a couple of points left, and I ended up snagging Glastrier. We'll see how he does. Glastrier is really crazy because in snow, like, look at the stats on this thing. 100 HP, 145 attack, 130 defense, 110 special defense. With an Assault Vest in snow, this thing is a problem. This thing is a problem for everybody. Now, I don't have Tera on this, but that's okay because if we're going to use this, we're going to use it to work with the snow of Ninetales. This thing is going to be ridiculous. We obviously have the big move in Icicle Crash. High horsepower is sick. We got Body Press, which does not stack with the Snow Boost. That would have been broken. But no, that doesn't work. So we have Avalanche too, which is good because we're so slow. We also, like, we have the pieces for, I doubt we'd use a real Trick Room mode, but we do have the pieces. Like, if Necrozma wants to run Trick Room, we have Glacier and Rhydon to do some damage in Trick Room. So that is an option available to us. But also it stops our opponents from wanting to give... They don't want to set up Trick Room for me if I have a Glacier around, you know? My team is kind of fast. We have a lot of Mons over 100 base speed. And we obviously have the Regieleki in 200 base speed. So Trick Room could be a tempting option for people, but not if they see a Glacier. You know, Glacier has what? 30 speed? Yeah, 30 speed. You don't want to give me that. So... But yeah, that's our team going into Season 5 of the PPL. I'm super excited. I didn't really plan on doing another draft league after BUBL, but this one popped up and I had to come back and defend the crown, of course. I'm super excited. If you guys are, let me know what your favorite draft league mon or our newest member of the team is. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Rhydon fans. That's my goat. Rhydon's my goat. Literally secured himself as my second favorite Pokemon. I literally have... Oh, yeah, you guys can probably see it. Look at, I got a Rhydon plush when I went to Pittsburgh the other week for regionals. I found a Rhydon sitting cutie. So I love Rhydon. I'm glad we brought him back. I'm really happy with the team. I think I originally wanted to go with a strategy of like a couple really big mons. Kind of like if you guys remember the team Uzi had in BUBL where he had like 7 Pokemon that were broken. I did want to go with that strategy, but honestly, I didn't quite get the big mons that I wanted. But I do really like the way the team shaped up. I think it's really balanced. We have a lot of setup options. We have a lot of natural speed. We have a lot of natural bulk. I think this team is going to play just how I want it. And I'm pumped up for a good season. Let's make it a good one. Let's win another one. Let's go back to back in PPL. Come on, let's get it. All right, that's going to be it for me on this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. And you guys will see the first battle of the season next week. I'm going to be uploading these on Sunday. You'll see coaches uploading, I believe... We can upload Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because there's so many coaches. You'll see me uploading on Sunday. That's like a day I typically like to upload these. So if you guys want and are excited for Draft League content, make sure you subscribe and stuff down below. And I'll see you guys on Sunday for the battle. Peace.